Matty, you're live and muted. There you go.
We're live. What's good, Cody?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Good, bro. How we doing? You got a nice little at-home studio there.
Yeah, I got a little something going on.
Oh, I see Durden right there behind you.
Yeah. So.
Who's that up top? I can't see. Is that you up top?
Yeah, right there.
Oh, that was a Jake Hadley fight.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Pretty dope little studio got set up here. But hey, we got some people here, man, and they only want one thing. They want the best fight picks, and they want to make money,
bro.
You know what I mean? Let's see what we can do.
Some good insight for them, bro. Let's see what the people. We're gonna let some people come in here. Sugar by decision. Joe Pfeiffer by sub. I was on that a few weeks ago, and now I'm kind of scared. I can't wait to get your opinion on that one. What's good, Dixon? Dixon said you got to grow the beard back, bro.
Oh, I just shaved it today.
All right,
let's wait.
Yeah, same, bro. All right, let's dive into this thing here. All right, up first on the prelims, bro, we got Markel Medeiros versus Mark Chowinski. I know you probably don't know a lot of the guys on the prelims here. Even me, I study these cards every single week. There's a lot of early fights on the card that you just don't know. You got to go back, watch tape study. Some of these guys never fought in the UFC. I believe this is Chowinski's debut here. These betting odds are way wrong. We butchered this shit. I don't know where the minus 675 came from. But Mark Chowinski is actually an underdog here. He is – let's take a look. He's a decent underdog. He's plus 170. Medeiros is a minus 210 favorite. Medeiros is a striker, but he kind of sits back on the back foot, doesn't like to blitz forward much. He can get pressured. Chowinski likes to grapple. He's got some hands. I don't know if you studied this fight at all, but what do you make of this in general? And what was it like for you when you made your UFC debut? Were you excited? Is it nerve-wracking? What's your input there?
Yeah, I mean, when you make the UFC debut, the nerves are definitely there. Even the first few fights in the UFC, you don't really know the commission, you don't know the staff, just everything's new to you. Getting into the USADA program was definitely new to me, and you got to really stay within yourself and worry about you inside the cage and try to not let the nerves get to you. You know what I'm saying, man? So, I don't know much about these two fighters. The first, 3-4 fights on the card, I don't know too much about them. But man, why is he such a huge favorite?
No, that's wrong. That they butchered that. The team butchered that. So Chowinski's plus 170. So Medeiros is minus 2. So Medeiros is a 2-1 favorite. I'll tell you, I looked at this fight and Medeiros just fought Austin Hubbard. That was back in March of this year. And he won by split decision. So it was a very close fight, low striking affair. But I watched especially a lot of that first and second round. And Medeiros, he kind of gives up his back a lot, bro. He gave up his back on the feet, on the ground. And Chowinski, if you look at his tapology, you look at some of his fights, he has rear naked chokes. He has submissions. So I'm kind of leaning towards the underdog side here. We won't spend a lot of time on this fight. The dude's never lost in MMA. Obviously hasn't fought in the UFC yet. He's 8-0. He has 5 submission wins. He's coming off a really nice rear naked choke against John Ramirez. That was at Anthony Pettis' promotion. But it took him 3 minutes to get a nice rear naked choke. And then 2 fights ago before that, arm triangle. I mean, he has 5 of his last 6 fights, he's literally won by submission. So taking the underdog here by submission. I know he's fighting lower level guys, but just based off the tape study of Medeiros, he's going to give you opportunities on his back, especially because he kind of fights off the back foot. It'll be interesting to see if he pressures forward here as probably the better striker, but I can just see Chowinski get to his back here. So I'm going to go dog or pass here, and I'm probably going to lock in the submission here. Someone said you've been making that money, bro. You make people money in the past?
I have, man. For some reason, they always make me the underdog. So
okay. I thought they meant you gave them a pick or something. Okay.
No. Maybe. It's quite possible. I'm not sure. I don't even know who that is. But, yeah, I mean, if I'm making you money, hopefully you're betting with me, and I'm the underdog. So I've won a lot of underdog.
Yeah, you're fighting. Gilbert was saying you have that the guy you're fighting next. It's next 2 weeks from now or next week. Next week.
Yeah.
Gilbert was saying that's a super tough guy.
Yeah, he is. He's tough.
I don't know what the betting odds are yet on that. Actually, here, let me take a look. Do you know what they are?
I think I'm a plus
145. Yeah,
plus 145. Yeah, so
145. It's dog money again, bro. I'll have to take a look.
Matty, real quick, while you guys are talking odds, just a heads up, all the odds say 675. We're getting that fixed ASAP. Apologies.
All right, cool. All good, bro. All right. Yeah, odds are wrong, guys, if you didn't just hear. We're going to get that fixed. Hopefully by the third fight, we'll swap out the slides here. Let's move on here. Ashmuse versus Quillen Salakod. I'll tell you what, bro. This is another fight where I'm looking at the underdog here. Cody, I don't know if you have much of an opinion on this fight, but the underdog here, I believe he is plus, let's take a look here, plus 400 now he's up to on Hard Rock. 4-1 underdog. This guy, Quillen, bro, he came out and starched his opponent in 19 seconds in his last fight. I don't know if you saw that or not, but I feel like he's a little overvalued because of that, right? If you come out and kill someone in 19 seconds, it's like everyone just wants to flock to bet it on you in your next fight, you know? Yep, exactly. Let me pull this up real quick. Have you seen either of these guys?
Yeah, I watched Ashmuse fight Chris Duncan, the Contender Series, and that was a good one. He's also 2-1 in the UFC, I think, right now. But yeah, I mean, he cracked Duncan with a hard shot, and Duncan was able to recover and come back and flatline him. I mean, it was a crazy knockout. So
yeah.
Man, but I don't know much about the other guy, but I will tell you this: that guy Yanel Ashmuse, he's got some power in his hands.
He's got some serious power, dude. I'm blown away that he's that big of a dog. He's up to 4-1 on Hard Rock. Again, I think this guy is the favorite. Just has a little bit of hype behind him because he just got a knockout so quickly. And then Yanel's fought Trevor Peake back in September of last year. He beat him by unanimous decision. He also knocked out Sam Patterson, who that win has aged really well. Sam Patterson has come out and put away Danny Barlow. That was a big shocker. Sam Patterson's on a 3-fight finish streak, and Ashmuse was able to beat him. So I think this guy's crazy value as the dog here, truthfully. So we'll see here. Jake, do we have the updated, or we'll go to the next fight first?
Go to the next one. JJ's working on it right now.
All right, cool. Let's move on, guys. Remember, the odds are incorrect. Joe Sanju versus Jeka Sari. I always butcher his last name, but this is another interesting one. Let me pull up the actual betting odds again. Let's see here. It is
Yo is a huge favorite, right? And
minus
debut.
Minus 650. How do you feel about when guys come in and they're like a massive favorite in their debut?
I mean, the guy he's fighting, he's 1-2 in the UFC. He's at a height disadvantage. I don't know about a reach, but he must be good. They have him as a huge favorite, but it's always tricky in your UFC debut. I was a 3-1 underdog in my UFC debut and ended up getting a majority decision draw. So
who is that against?
Chris Gutierrez.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah. Took it on 6-day notice, but
yeah.
I mean, my pick personally, by looking at the paper, the stats, I would have to go with the debut guy. I mean, the Jeka is 1-2 in the UFC, and he's at a height disadvantage. I mean, he's got the experience, but the other kid's undefeated, and it's kind of like they gave him a good fight for his first debut.
Yeah, I agree. So him to win by finish is minus 155. So that's pretty. The odds makers think that this is going to be an easy fight for him, and I agree. I don't even think that's a bad price on his finish number at minus 155. Yeah, guys, I know the team is slacking this week. That graphic is wrong. The odds are wrong. We're getting it fixed. So hopefully on the next slide here. But we got a new one. Let's add it to the stage. There we go. Bang. All right. We got the graphic fixed. Let's see. This is just an individual graphic, Jake. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the rest in. That was just for now.
Okay. This is the next fight, though, right?
Should be.
All right, let me double check that. Yeah, it looks like it is. Okay, perfect. This is a fight I'm excited about, bro. Ariana Lipsky is the veteran, almost a 4-1 underdog. This girl, the Joker, Kan Wan. Have you watched her fight? She's got really confident striking. She has been caught once before, but I think it was a fight where she wins 9 out of 10 times, and she just got overconfident, like just sitting in the pocket, throwing, didn't respect anything coming back at her. She got caught, I think, with a head kick and then got club and subbed. Did you see that fight by chance?
I don't think I did, but I mean, I have seen her fight. You know, she comes, she's theatrical. You know what I mean? And her pre-fight weigh-ins. You know, so that's how I originally know of her. But Lipsky, you know, she is a veteran, like you said. But man, I think Wang is gonna come out here and put it on her. She's got her by age, but man, I just the momentum's telling me, you know, Kong Wang and the way she's fighting and how dominant that she was looking, you know, before she got knocked out, and you know, obviously her 2 UFC wins. I'm gonna have to roll with her.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm with you. So her last fight, she bounced back from her submission loss. She beat Bruno Brazil, but she didn't finish her, bro. But like 103-31 in significant strikes, like Bruno Brazil had just nothing for her. Lipsky has the grappling, but I just don't think it's enough. Like I think the Joker is gonna either win a unanimous decision or she's gonna put her away in the 2nd or 3rd round. So I'm taking the favorite here. Let me see what her odds are to win by finish. It is -165. So you normally don't see that in a women's MMA fight where it's heavily favored for a finish. So that just shows you this girl is a legit finisher, right? Like she started off 2-0 in the UFC, 2 finishes. Then she got caught. And then the Bruno Brazil fight didn't put her away, but it was pretty impressive. I think this is a good matchup where Ariane's kind of aggressive and you need a good dance partner to get that finish, whereas Bruno Brazil was kind of like just kind of taking that moral victory where she would just lose by decision. But Lipsky is not going to do that. This is going to be a war, and I see the Joker getting a finish. Nice. Let's move on to the next one here. Up next is Chaos Williams versus Andreas Gustoson. Have you seen – obviously you've watched Chaos fight, but have you seen Gustoson? He fought on Contender Series. The dude's pretty violent. He rushes forward. You know, he'll rush forward, clinch you up, try to throw shots, knees in the clinch. I mean, he's a violent guy, but you got to think he's going to come out here and try to grab a hold of Chaos Williams because you don't want to be traded in the pocket with Chaos. What do you make of this fight? Because Gustoson's a small underdog here.
I mean, Gustoson, you know, he had a weigh in, and then I think he was supposed to fight Trevin Giles, and then, you know, he didn't make the walk again. What's up with that? Trevin Giles, I think that's like the 2nd time that's happened to him. I may be wrong, but he didn't make the walk, and then, you know, you gotta expect that weight cut to have something on him, you know, and like you said, Gustoson comes forward and he tries to get that clinch, and you don't want to come forward on a guy like Chaos Williams trying to get a clinch because he can knock your lights out. And like he says, it's not personal, it's just punishment.
Yeah. Bro, so this guy's also a real estate agent. Did you know that?
I didn't.
He's a realtor. I'm pretty sure. Someone in the chat tell me if I'm thinking of someone else, but I'm almost positive Chaos is a realtor as well. So he's making his bag in the UFC, and then he's slinging houses on the side, which is pretty impressive. Tell me if I'm wrong. The chat always corrects you if you're wrong, so let me know if I'm thinking of someone else. But I'm 98% sure. But yeah, so the chat says Chaos is a realtor. I watched Gustoson's debut. The dude's good. He looks good, but I'm telling you, bro, he's gonna run forward, clinch up, and there's gonna be like those split-second separations. And that's where I'm worried about him surviving because he could win this fight on control time, just like kind of like Mario Bautista, this guy, like he did against Jose Aldo. He can push Chaos against the cage. Chaos can definitely get out grappled. Gabriel Bonfim came in, took him to the ground, got the Von Flue choke. But Gustafson's not that level of a grappler. So I think Gustafson's going to try to push him up against the cage, make it a dirty fight. Because if it's a straight boxing match, he's going to get flatlined. But I think regardless, he's getting flatlined. Like, I think he's going to push him up against the cage. And then in the in-betweens, I see Chaos landing like a big hook or something and just putting his lights out. I mean, this guy hits so freaking hard, it's ridiculous.
Let me ask you this: what is the odds of Williams winning by knockout? Because that's what I'm kind of leaning towards. I'm kind of leaning towards Chaos to catch him.
Yeah, I think he definitely is going to. The finish prop is like -155, so the KO is probably like -130 or something. Chat, if you guys want to check that out for us and let us know in the comments. What is Chaos Williams on your sports book by knockout? It's probably like -125 or -130. So it's favored to happen, right? And he's a 2-1 favorite in the fight. That's how he wins when he wins, right? Does Chaos have any decision wins? Let's take a look here. He does have a split decision win against Rolando Bedoya. He actually has 2 because he has the split win again, or he has the decision win against Matthew Semmelsberger. I don't know how he didn't knock out Matthew Semmelsberger. But then the Carlston Harris fight, his last fight before the Gabriel Bonfim fight, round 1 KO, 1:30 in, just clocks him. So +125 we're seeing, guys. That's actually a really good number. +130 on FanDuel, +125. DK's +120. Crazy power, 100%.
And he's got the 3-inch reach advantage, and he's got, the youth. So, man, I don't know. I'm leaning towards, Williams be a knockout.
100%. No, we're on the same page. Let's go to this next graphic when we can, Jake. Up next is, let's see. I can't wait to get your opinion on this one because I talked to Gilbert about this one on the podcast. Let's see. We got that next slide, Jake. It's going to be here we go. Sergey Spivok versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. Heavyweight fight. We got the elite grappler versus a pro boxer. I believe Cortez Acosta was a boxer before MMA. Has really slick boxing, good head movement. Not the craziest power, but good power. Not the craziest power for heavyweight, but good, solid power. Really clean technical boxing. Spivok doesn't like to be hit, bro. He will do whatever it takes to get this fight to the ground. He's been TKO'd 4 times in the UFC, but it's against the upper echelon. Ciryl Gane, Jonathan Almeida, Aspinall. Like, he's not getting KO'd by lower level guys. It's all elite guys. Even big punchers like Derek Lewis, he takes them to the ground. Tai Tuivasa takes them to the ground. Greg Hardy, he's took a lot of big punchers right to the ground and put them away. I don't think he's going to be able to do that against Cortez Acosta. This guy's got a strong base and foundation. He's actually my favorite underdog of the entire card. Do you agree, or do you think Spivok's going to be able to grapple this guy up?
No, I agree. And, Spivok also, the way he takes people down is so energy efficient, and he gets on top of guys and drowns them. So, but Waldo's had some good fights in the UFC, some favorable matchups, guys that didn't belong in the UFC and guys who are at lower levels than him. But, man, I'm going to have to take Acosta this fight. I believe he can stop the takedown and land that big punch. I wouldn't. Yeah. I would have to go. Acosta by decision. I'm not real confident in the TKO, but I have watched both of these guys fight, and Acosta, he has what it takes to win this fight if he can stop the takedown.
Yeah, I'm confident on the money line. I'm with you. Like, just take him as the underdog to win the fight. I'm torn too because I like the KO, like maybe a little bit of accumulation. I actually think he could get to ground and pound win here. Like, nice combinations on the feet. Just take Spivok to the ground. Just be careful. Don't give up a fucking arm bar or some shit. Like, don't let him do anything off his back. He might just let him back up again. But I do think he's capable of getting a ground and pound TKO here. I just don't like Spivok's body language when he gets hit. He just doesn't like to get punched in the face. And, like, the good punchers are really hurting him early and often. So I'm kind of torn where it's like, is Cortez Acosta going to win on the scorecards or is he going to put this guy away? I think you got to try to put him away because you just don't want to risk it. Like all he needs is one grappling sequence, and he can finish you. So it's like you just got to try to put this guy like TKO this guy and get the fight over with.
All these heavyweights need is one takedown, and especially Spivok, he needs one takedown, and then you're like throwing your hands in the air, like dang, because
I hope that doesn't happen. Yeah, because if he gets on top, it's over. Like if Cortez Casa gets taken down, you just have to be so quick back to your feet. Because if you let this dude get on top of you, I don't think he's going to sub him. I think he would literally ground and pound him out if he gets on top of him. Cortez don't have much of a neck, so I don't know if he's going to choke him out. We shall see. All right, let's see. All right, we got the graphic back. This is my biggest lock of the card. He's a huge favorite. It's Azamat Mzakonov versus – have you seen this guy, Bredson Ribeiro? He was on the Contender Series. He's massive for light heavyweight. 6'3". I think that 6'3" is probably wrong. He looks even taller than that. 205er with huge reach. Look at this. This is a 10-inch reach advantage for the – I mean, just looking at the numbers, Cody, you're like, hey, the younger guy with a 10-inch reach advantage, why is he a 5-1 underdog? But then you watch the tape on Mzakonov, bro. I think he's one of the best strikers and like the most underrated striker, and one of the most underrated strikers in the UFC. He's got crazy footwork. He's got head movement. He's got really fast hands, and he packs a punch too. I mean, he outstruck Dustin Jacoby in a decision. He's gotten tons of TKOs already in the UFC. He flatlined who was it, Alonzo Menafield. So like the guy is really good. He's starting to get up there in age for a 205er. You know, he's 36 years old, but he's still got it. He looks really good. I think he's going to win this fight by knockout, which is still heavily favored to happen. Do you think this could be an upset, or do you think he's going to get it done on the feet here?
No. And one thing you missed, man, I think Dustin Jacoby hurt him in the fight, and Azamat was still able to survive. You know, he's durable, but and he knocks people out. Azamat knocks people out, so I'm gonna have to take Azamat. You know, 14-0, undefeated, but man, that reach advantage is crazy.
It is crazy. I just think that you can overcome that reach when your footwork is so good. Like he's in and out. I think Bredson's actually going to try to grapple in this matchup, even with the reach advantage. But I don't know. Maybe he just needs to swing for the fences and try to get a lucky shot, because I think that's probably his path here. Like you know, respectfully, I think in all seriousness, I just watched this guy strike, and Mzakonov is just so good on the feet, bro. So I'm going Mzakonov by KO. You guys, you can get Mzakonov to win by finish. It's minus 325. So the KO is probably like minus 250 or something. So that's pretty crazy.
Is it worth the value here? Is it worth the value, Matty?
Ask yourself. But if he makes it look easy, like Bredson's been put away in round one, I think 3 or 4 times, bro. Not in the UFC, but once in the UFC, I think a few times before. I'm pretty sure. Someone can fact check me on that. Actually, let me check real quick, because now I'm curious. I believe he's been put away in round one a few different times. He's been KO'd 3 times. All 3 times were in round one. So I think we're going to see the 4th time in round one here. We shall see. Let's move on. A perfect fight for Cody to break down here. Bruno Silva versus Joshua Van. Cody's obviously fought both of these guys. Van is a pretty sizable favorite here. I mean, I believe he should be favored, but we all know Bruno Silva has power in his hands. Is this line too wide, or do you think Van just destroys him?
Man, you know, I wouldn't guess. I think the line is a little too wide, you know, but the reason why I say that is because, you know, Bruno Silva packs a punch, but also Joshua Van's been knocked out, you know, by Charles Johnson, who doesn't hit very hard to me, you know. But
true.
I mean, Bruno Silva is going to come out. They're both slow starters, and I believe Joshua Van's going to start building in the 2nd, 3rd round, and if it makes it to the 3rd round. But I think on this fight card, I think the best pick is the Joshua Van via TKO or KO.
Let's go. I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people are saying I'm going to see if Jake can throw my cycle parlay in there. But a lot of people are saying Josh Van by decision, and it's scaring me because like he will we got the MMA guru in here. Bruno Silva under KO is a lock. Interesting.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. I'll tell you what, bro. So here's a cycle parlay. You got to see this. So this is my cycle parlay. It's one fight by KO, one by decision, one by submission. I bet it every single week. We haven't hit since March, but March hit for 100 grand. So I'm hoping this one is for 250,000. Tell me what you think, Cody, because I took this fight to just end by knockout. Bruno Silva versus Josh Van. So I think Van's going to TKO him in the second, but I get the upside, or I get the insurance, if you will, of if Bruno Silva finds a big shot. And as soon as that fight ends by knockout, then I'm on to the next leg, which I have Patchy by sub, Sean O'Malley by decision. 3,600 pays 250 grand, bro.
Bro, I can't believe you took Sean O'Malley by decision. I think that's the worst bet
one
ever.
I respect that.
You know, like if you're gonna beat if you're gonna beat Morab, you gotta, and if anybody can beat him, it would be Sean O'Malley by knockout or TKO. But I mean, Sean O'Malley by decision against one of the toughest fighters, the champion Morab.
Don't you think that
the first two are money? And that's just me. That's just my opinion.
If you're going Sean O'Malley, right? Let's say you have to pick Sean O'Malley. Do you think the decision is more likely than the KO, or the KO is more likely? Because you said Morab's one of the toughest fighters. That's why I have O'Malley by decision. Because we see Morab get hurt by like Marlon Moraes, bro.
Right.
But he recovers like crazy. And I don't think even Sean O'Malley's KO against Aljo, it was kind of a little bit of an early stoppage. Like Aljo wasn't out. So my logic is Sean's going to show improved takedown defense. It's going to still go the distance. But, bro, even in a fight that looked like he got dominated, he still only lost 2 out of the 5 rounds. It's like, can he win 3 out of 5 after 8 months of preparing for Morab? That's my logic, and I'm like, I get 5-1 on it in a big parlay, so that's why I took it.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, and also I think O'Malley won round 5 and round 3. If I don't know if I can recall that correctly, but that's what I thought personally. And man, I hope you smack that parlay though.
I'll tell you one thing: if I hit the first 2 legs and then the main event goes the distance, I'm gonna be sweating, bro. It's gonna be a 250K sweat. So
yeah,
let's see. Yeah. But all right, what's your final pick for this? You're going Josh Van by TKO.
I'm gonna say Josh Van, second round TKO. The first round's it's gonna be a slow fight the first round, but you're gonna see Bruno Silva, going after the takedowns, but Joshua Van's just got strong hips, man, and he's strong as up. He's short and compact, and he says he don't wrestle, but that the Joker don't need to wrestle because his hands are so good, and I just see him winning via knockout.
Do you think Josh Van could?
I'll put it to you this way. Is Bruno Silva going to be able to take the damage that I took from Josh Van? Probably not,
That makes sense. Do you think Joshua Van could beat Manel Kopp? Because he'd be an underdog in that fight, but I think he's live.
Yeah, I think he is too. I think he's good, man. He's real good, man. His hands are unbelievable.
Yeah. Interesting. It'd be an interesting matchup. All right, guys, we're going to dive into the main card. Before we do so, go check out my guys, Hey Jive Picks and Nolan. If you use code Jersey on winnable.com/HOF Picks, you're going to get 7 days free which means you're going to pretty much get this weekend for free, the whole Saturday card, pay-per-view card. Go take a look right now on the website. I'm going to put it in the chat. Hey Jive and Nolan's been cooking the books for 3 straight years. Go check that out right now. Link is in the chat. Let's move on to one of my favorite fights of the night here. Kevin Holland versus Vicente Luque. Now, this fight is at 170, which is an important thing to talk about when you're talking about Kevin Holland fighting. Typically has a lot more success at this weight class. 185, he tends to just get beat up by bigger guys, right? Vicente Luque, it all comes down to what Vicente Luque. If we get prime Luque back, I think he wins this fight, right? If we get the Luque that fought Joaquin Buckley, He obviously is not winning this fight. I took a crazy long shot here. I want to hear your opinion on. Gilbert loves it. I took Luque by sub here because it's 9-1 odds. Now, I don't think he's going to be able to just like get nice takedowns, get position, get in the submission attempts. But I do think that in a big exchange that he could find a club and sub or something, right? Just hurt him. And he's so opportunistic with those front chokes and maybe even get the back something. We saw Kevin Holland get knocked down by Mikhail Olazechuk. We've seen him been subbed a few times, 3 or 4 plus times in the UFC. Granted, it's been higher level grapplers. But Luque is really good. He's subbed Michael Chiesa. He's got really good darces and front chokes. First and foremost, who do you favor or who do you think is going to win this fight? And then do you think there's a chance Luque could grab a sub here?
Man, I'm going to have to go with Kevin Holland, It just depends on what Kevin Holland shows up, Yeah. He's hard to bet on, though, so just –
He's the hardest. Everyone in the gambling community says if you bet on Kevin Holland or you bet against Kevin Holland, you're wrong either way. Like, it's just you have to be a special type of degenerate to bet on him. And here I am betting on the fight, bro.
Yeah, man. But man, I'm telling you, I think Kevin Holland. I think we're gonna see a lot of finishes on this card, and I think Kevin Holland. I think Kevin Holland can get it done. I can see how Gilbert took Vincent, Luque, because they're teammates, whatnot. But I think Kevin Holland's too active and. He's down at 170 where, he's not the smaller man. And I just see him finding that big punch, that big right hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't lie. It is scary. If Holland hurts him and Luque shells up, I'm not going to be the most shocked person in the world, obviously. I do realize that's a scenario here that could happen. But I also think – obviously, it was a short fight, but Luque looked so good against Garimbo. Obviously, it was a quick, club and sub. It ended very, very quickly. But I think that's super good for his confidence, right? Just look at what Luque's been through. He gets the brain bleed from Jeff Neal, takes a crazy amount of time off, took a full year and a week off, comes back against RDA, goes to a grapple-heavy approach, wins a decision. Then he comes out and he's fighting a power guy in Joaquin Buckley, gets put away in a weird way, kind of pulled guard when he was hurt, and then the ref just stopped the fight. But then he bounces back against Garimbo, and I think the guy is mentally back. At least I believe so. So again, it comes down to which Luque do we get, which Kevin Holland do we get, but hopefully it should be a super entertaining fight.
Yeah, it definitely will. Something about Kevin Holland talking shit while he's punching at you is hilarious.
Yeah, everyone says that.
And I want to know what he said at the ceremonial way. After the press conference when he said something to Luque and they shook hands after. I want to know what he said.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, so I heard him say, "I want to know what happened in the Buckley fight" on the mic, but I don't know what he said after that.
Yeah.
So, but this would be a banger, bro. All right, I want to hear your opinion here. Patchy mix versus Mario Bautista. My favorite bet of the card is Patchy mix by sub. I'm a little nervous because Bautista is very good defensively in the grappling department, good takedown defense, hard to submit. He's only been subbed, I believe, once. Let me double check that, but I believe he's only been subbed once in the UFC. 15-2 record in MMA, bro. The guy's underrated. He did get subbed by Corey Sandhagen, armbar in round 1. That was back in 2019, though, so 6 years ago. Obviously, totally different fighters 6 years later. Both these guys, elite records, 20-1 versus 15-2. Obviously, Patchy fighting outside of the organization. I'll tell you what, bro. I know Patchy personally. The guy has such a chip on his shoulder to come in and prove himself in the UFC. Just think about that, Cody. If you think you're one of the best in the world and you're just handcuffed in another organization, just imagine how excited he is and the chip on his shoulder to come out in this fight and prove it. And the only way to do that is with a finish. You can't go out here and beat Mario Bautista 29-28 on a split scorecard. It doesn't do anything for his stock. If anything, it hurts it, But if he comes out here and makes this look easy in round 1 and chokes him out, he believes he can skip the line. He's oh, I'm next over Corey Sandhagen, which I don't necessarily agree with that, but I do think he is right there if he makes this look easy. So What's your input on this fight? Do you like Bautista, or do you think Patchy gets this one done?
Absolutely. And, I've sparred Patchy Mix. Dude, and he throws the highest knees I've ever seen. Like I stopped in the middle of the sparring, he didn't have any knee pads on, and he threw this knee up, and I swear it came up to the top of my head. And I looked at him like, bro, you can't be throwing that in sparring. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to knock me out, like, just, sparring. But, yeah, his grappling is phenomenal. And it's the pressure. He's going to look to get Bautista up against the cage, and shoot in and get his hands locked, single leg, double leg, whatever it takes. And Patchy's the opposition he's faced out of the UFC is top notch. Kyoji Horiguchi. I think he took his only loss to Juan Archuleta, and man, he's been sitting on the sidelines. And I follow Patchy Mix. I talk to him quite often, and man, he's been hungry. He's been training. And if he's not, although he hasn't been fighting, he's always around fighters helping them get ready for their fights.
Yeah.
So this guy is really, one of the best in the world, and he just got to go out there and prove it on Saturday night.
Right. And what is your thoughts on? Go ahead. Good.
And I think he will be able to get Bautista down, but also at the same time, but Bautista's 7-fight win streak, and he looks good, So I know a lot of people are saying Patchy by submission, which isn't a stretch. It's not a stretch at all.
Right.
But I would, if I was a betting man, if I could bet, I would bet Patchy by submission.
You like it too?
Absolutely, yeah. See, he's got 16 submissions, man. He's got 16 submissions. But
the biggest thing for me is, like, I know people are going to say he hasn't subbed UFC fighters, but he's doing that in training. Like, he's subbing the highest level UFC fighters in training. And he's subbing the highest level guys in Bellator, in the PFL. Like, these are elite guys that would be top 10 in the UFC, like, that's like probably not top 5, but they would be top 10 or 12, some of these guys that he's putting away by finish. So that's the way I look at it. I look at the hunger, the chip on his shoulder, the grappling upside. Bro, mark my words, because we're going to clip this if I'm right here. I don't even think he needs a takedown. I think he's going to backpack him on the feet and get the choke. If that shit happens.
Okay. Yeah. I've seen Patchy do that before. I've seen him do it before. And also, man, Patchy is a massive bantamweight. He is huge.
He's huge, bro. Huge.
I don't know how he makes it, but he does.
Yeah. All right, moving on. This is an interesting fight, bro. Joe Pyfer versus Kelvin Gastelum. This is a remade fight after it got canceled. The whole shenanigans with Joe Pyfer and Mexico and all the things he said. I'm going to be honest, bro. I was on the Joe Pyfer side. I still probably lean Pyfer, but I think he needs to get a finish in the first or second round. If this was a 5-rounder, Gastelum is way more live in my opinion, but it's not. It's a 3-round fight, and it worries me that Gastelum can't do enough early. He could even win the 3rd round if he survives, but it's not enough on the scorecards. I just look at this fight. My original read was Joe Pyfer, teammates of Sean Brady. Brady subbed Kelvin Gastelum. Pyfer's even bigger and stronger. Well, bigger than Sean Brady. Brady probably is a better grappling, but Joe Pyfer beat GM3 in a straight grappling match. Like, the guy is really underrated grappling. His easiest path is a double leg takedown. Put this guy flat on his back, get an arm triangle or a rear naked choke. Will he do that is yet to be determined. I think he kind of wants to find a KO on the feet. No one's ever knocked out Kelvin Gastelum in the UFC. He has been subbed a couple times. How do you see this fight going? Pyfer is a 4-1 favorite here, bro.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Pyfer via unanimous decision. Just like you said, 3-round fight. And Pyfer fights, with a chip on his shoulder, and, he kind of reminds me of a lighter version of Sean Strickland. He's just that attitude and the way he.
Pyfer or Gastelum?
Pyfer really? Reminds me of kind of a Sean Strickland. I've had run-ins with Pyfer. I'm cutting weight, and he's like, "Hey, your corner man, called me out on Twitter." I was like, "Well, yeah, he's 7-0. He's trying to get in the UFC, and your opponent dropped out." He's like, "Man, well, I don't like that." I'm gonna say something to him, and I'm like dying, bro. Like I'm like 128, and I'm like dying in the sun. I said, well, dude, y'all ain't gonna fight right now. You know, me and Sean Brady are cutting weight. Like, chill out. And then they ended up having a discussion outside of the sauna. But the run-ins I've had with Piper are he's always angry, man. It's just like, but at the same time, going back to the skills of Piper.
Oh, he's very skilled.
Coming into his prime, he's 28 years old, and the whole thing that went down in Mexico, I think it was Mexico. I think he has what it takes to beat Kelvin. He's been training for him for a long time, and I don't see Kelvin knocking him out. I don't see him submitting him. So I'm gonna have to go with Piper via unanimous decision.
Decision. No one's on that. Everyone's on the KO or sub, and you might be on to something here, bro. I got scared. I was on the submission a few weeks ago. I've gotten scared. My buddy Pat Downey's in Kelvin Gastelum's camp, training him on the wrestling and the grappling. It's not even just that. It's like, does Piper even want the submission? Like, he's on record saying he's like, I want to be the first one to knock this guy out. And my logic is like, you can say that going into the fight, but when you see this guy's not going away, at some point are you just like, fuck it, I'm taking him down. And I feel like that's what's going to happen. And I can just see an arm triangle here. That's just how I see it going. Piper arm triangled. Who's that huge heavy hitter? Al Hassan. What's the guy's name? Big power puncher. He just like, fuck this guy. He's swinging for the fences. He took him down, arm triangled him out cold, literally went to sleep. I can see that in this fight. But it's a tough fight. And I also don't like Joe Piper. You nailed it. Like, the guy's a little bit angry and sensitive. And like, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing sometimes going into a fight. Sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's like, you don't want his ego to get in the way. Like, there's an easy path to victory in this fight. It's like, is he going to take it though? I'm not sure. I'm actually rooting for Kelvin. I like both guys, but I would love to see Kelvin get a win here. But I just think the size is too much, dude. Like, someone in the comments said a light heavyweight versus a 170er, and honestly, it looks like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kelvin's gonna, stay on the footwork and try to stay on the outside and try to land those big calf kicks. And Piper's going to have his big moments in the fight, but I just my guess is Piper via unanimous decision.
I like it.
And Matty, before you move on, did you know the drama with Piper, Gastelum, and your boy Pat Downey? Do you know what's going on?
A little bit.
Basically, Pat Downey called out Piper after he beat Chris Weidman at Fury, and they're going to grapple after Pat Downey's in Kelvin Gastelum's corner. So just got that to be excited.
See. Yeah, we'll see if it happens. But no, that would be a sick matchup in grappling, bro.
Yeah,
that would be good for the fans. All right, co-main event, bro. I don't know if you know this, but this is the first time in UFC history that a challenger is this big of a favorite against a fighter holding the belt. You got Kayla Harrison's a 7-1 favorite against Juliana Pena. Obviously, we know her credentials. We know how good she is. We know how physically strong she is. But we haven't really seen her go 5 rounds in the UFC. Is this another fight where you're like, these odds are disrespectful, the line's too big? Or do you think like, hey, this girl's 18-1. She's better everywhere. Do you think this is just a one-way action where Kayla's going to kill Juliana Pena?
Man, I see Kayla, taking Pena down and finishing her. I trained a lot with Kayla this fight camp. I did a lot of rounds with Kayla, and
really?
The work she put in for this fight camp is crazy. And she would come in, spar 5 rounds, and then go home and walk 6 miles. But she did that every day consistently, and I was like, Kayla, why are you doing that? She's like, I got to do it to make the weight. I got to walk every day. So
okay.
When she makes the weight, man, I'm telling you, she is so skilled, and I'm definitely rolling with my girl Kayla.
Yeah, I agree with this comment. I had Pennington in that fight against Juliana Pena.
Yeah,
I believe it was a split decision. It wasn't really a robbery because people throw around the robbery word like crazy, but I did have Pennington win. But I do feel like Pena is more marketable and is a more fun like build up, so I'm not mad about it. Let me ask you this, bro. Like Kayla Harrison, the submission, I believe her submission is the most likely outcome. Let me double check that. Do you feel like if it was 50-50 on the betting odds, or like one wasn't more favored than the other, which one would you choose? Do you think the ground and pound, or do you think the sub here?
No. I think Kayla Harrison via crucifix, ground and pound.
Ground and pound.
Yeah, I think she gets half guard, transitions to side control, puts her in a crucifix, and finishes her.
Bro, that's
electric. But I don't. Do I?
I said that would be electric.
Yeah,
do you think like TKO ref stoppage, or you think because Pena is known for being super tough, right? Like she never goes away.
Yeah. I mean, I know that's exactly how she beat Nunez the
first time,
fight. And I just here's the thing: can Pena stop the takedown? No. Can Pena hold Kayla Harrison down? No. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
Is Pena better than Harrison in the clinch? Is she going to be able to hold Kayla against the cage? No. Can Kayla hold Pena against the cage? Maybe. And then it comes down to can Pena outstrike Kayla Harrison? Kayla Harrison's, kind of got that. She's southpaw and she's got that karate bouncing back and forth. She tries to throw, big left hands, and I just think she's going to be too much for Pena. Pena's going to run in, throwing her 1-2, and she's going to get put on her back.
Yeah. No, I agree with everything you just said. I think it's like looking at like who's a better striker. It doesn't even matter. Like you said, Pena literally cannot stuff these takedowns. Like Pena has one chance to win this fight. Everybody knows it, whether they'll admit it or not. It's survive. Hope Kayla fatigues, and then find a chokehold or something. That is literally our strategy. Anyone that thinks differently, I'm telling you, is wrong, bro. And it could work, right? But I think for that to work, Kayla has to overexert herself in the midst of a finish, right? I think we're gonna see Kayla get the takedowns early, but also be smart. Like she knows a 25-minute fight. If she tries to get her out of there and is throwing straight heat on the ground for 2 minutes at a time, and then Pena's still there, that's when I think you have to be nervous for Kayla. It's like, did she exert all her energy trying to seek that finish? And then next thing you know, there's 12 minutes left in the fight still. That's when I think it gets scary. But other than that, I think this is all one-way traffic for Kayla Harrison. It's just a matter of how do we bet her. She's a 7-1 favorite. You can't really play the money line. So if you take her on the KO, you're going to get plus 300 odds. If you take her on the submission, you get plus 160. So what I'm hearing from you is that 3-1 is good value, the ground and pound.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think Kayla Harrison, she's 18-1, and she's got the experience, and she knows not to, gas herself out by forcing the finish. The finish will come.
Yeah. Now, Pena has been armbarred by Valentina Shevchenko. She's also been guillotined back in 2020. The only time she's been KO'd in her career was a doctor stoppage back in 2012. So it's literally been 13 years since she's been TKO'd. Does that change your mind at all, or you're like it doesn't matter?
No. I'm riding with Harrison. This is all she's wanted. She's wanting to put that Olympic gold medalist with the UFC belt, and I think it's going to come to fruition.
I like it. Yeah, I kind of think I'm torn on the sub or KO though, bro. I'm gonna be honest. We've seen Pena been armbarred before. Does Kayla have a signature choke or signature sub that she always uses in the gym that you like?
Armbar.
Armbar. There it is. We can see the armbar, laying ground and pound, soften her up, and then transition into it. I could see that. I gotta see.
Pena's the type to let her arm break, though.
That's true.
She ain't tapping.
Yeah, but that still goes down as a sub if there's a break.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. All right, moving on to the main event. A rematch at bantamweight, Sean O'Malley versus Morab. I'm gonna be honest, bro. These odds have gotten out of hand. I believe Morab should be the favorite. He should be favored against anyone in the world in this weight class. We all know and understand that. But we talked about this for a couple minutes earlier in the show for anyone that's just joining in. But I'm gonna repeat myself here. It's just crazy to me that O'Malley won 2 out of those 5 rounds in the first fight, even after Morab looked so dominant. And the fact that damage wins rounds, the fact that O'Malley has the better finishing upside, it makes me like the money line at plus 220 here. I think if I had to pick a fighter at a coin toss, I'm taking Morab here. But if I have a bet on the fight at the current betting odds, I'm going Sean O'Malley here. He's locked in, hasn't done any of his vices in the last however many months. He gave up everything. He literally gave up everything you could imagine. What is your take on that?
He's still jaying the peen. He's lying.
Do you buy into all this as a fighter? Yeah. Do you buy into all this as a fighter, though? Do you like, hey, like these decisions actually make a big difference? Or are you like, because a part of me is like, that's what got Sean O'Malley there, is being himself, having fun, doing all those things. But then the other part of me is like, hey, maybe it's same thing with Carlos Prates. We talk about this. It's like, does the guy need to give up the cigarettes? Or is that what makes him Carlos Prates? With Sean O'Malley, it's the same thing, bro. It's the hair color. It's the smoking. It's the content on social media. It's all of these things. And then you remove them all drastically off of one loss. It's like, is he removing his personality and who he is? Or is it for the better and it couldn't make a difference here? What do you think?
I think he's just, all fighters go through it. Something's got to change, but you don't know what's got to change. But you just know the things that, like you said, the higher self tells you, don't take that drink, don't smoke that, And I think he's sacrificing a little more, just for his own confidence. And but I think Morab's going to be too much for him, man. I think like you said, you took Sean O'Malley via decision, but the only way I see Sean O'Malley winning is winning big moments where he hurts Morab. Oh, well, you could have a point. He could hurt Morab a few times and Morab survive and win that way. But I don't see it happening. I think Morab wins via unanimous decision again.
How many rounds is he going to win out of 5?
He's going to win at least 3.
Right.
No 10-8 rounds.
Yeah. I'm torn. Again, I have to go with O'Malley. My bet's already in. I showed you guys it. I'll pull it back up here again. This is the cycle parlay. Cody, we got to build you a cycle, bro. I know you're not allowed to bet. But if you had to pick a fighter by sub, a fighter by decision, and a fighter by KO, what would the 3 be? Because I want to put it in for myself.
I'm going to go with –
It can be Morab, though, because then I'm already – actually, no, it can be Morab. It is what it is. So you just have to pick any of these fights, right? So I'm going to, shuffle.
Yeah. So I'm going to go Kevin Holland via knockout.
Okay.
I'm going to go Joshua Van via second round knockout.
It's got to be one. Which KO do you like better? Because it's one KO, one sub.
Okay, let's go Joshua Van second round knockout.
All right.
Patchy's. I think Mario is good, man. I don't see him. I mean, I can see it happening, but also at the same time, something tells me not to. But
don't put that one in there because I already have that. So, what's your next favorite submission here? I'm gonna shuffle through all these here on the screen. I'll give you your options. You got Spivok. You got the first fight of the night, which is Chewinski. You got Luque. No, you can't take him. You got Pfeiffer. You said decision on him.
Let's go Kayla via. Man, I think she's gonna TKO her though, but she could submit her. But
yeah,
armbar. You told me Pena's got armbarred and Kayla's got a nasty armbar. from all angles.
All right, let's do this. Let's do a finish. Let's do a finish parlay. It'll be easier. So let's do this. 3 fighters to win by finish. That's what we'll do.
Chaos Williams.
So up first, we're going Kayla Harrison by finish plus 115. We're going
Joshua Van.
So you want to leave Holland out then? So we have Joshua Van and Chaos.
No. Let's not leave Holland out. Holland's gonna knock Luke out.
Oh shit.
I like Holland knocking Luke out better than I like Chaos Williams knocking out Gustoson. I'll tell you that.
All right, so Holland by finish is minus 125. What's the third one? We got
Joshua Van
by finish.
By finish, second round.
We got Josh Van by finish plus 135. Oh shit! Hold on, let me fix this. Main card. I keep messing that up. Finish. Kayla Harrison win by finish. Minus 150. That's crazy. And what was the third one? Kayla, Josh, and Holland. Let's see. Holland by finish is minus 105. All right. We got Josh Van to win by finish plus 135. We got Kevin Holland to win by finish minus 105. Kayla Harrison to win by finish minus 150. That's plus 665. So $100 would pay $765 total. That's Cody's parlay for the fights. If you guys want to tail that, we'll put it out on Twitter, or I'll tweet it out. So anybody that wants to tail it here after the show. But it's a 3-fight parlay, pretty much 7-1 odds there. Maybe Cody cooked, bro. I'm hoping he's wrong. I'm hoping he's wrong on the Kevin Holland fight, though. I am.
There you go.
Other two I like a lot, though.
Other
two I like a lot.
Man, you coming to Atlanta or what?
I'm coming, bro. I'm leaving.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm flying.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I'm flying Saturday, either Saturday morning or Friday night, and then I have a room Saturday night and leaving Sunday morning.
Gotcha.
So I'm pumped, bro. That's a great card. The main event's a great matchup. Who you got in the main event, Kamaru or Buckley?
I'm gonna have to go with Kamara.
Really? Decision? Just wrestling?
Yeah, Kamara via decision. But I mean, I don't know, man. Let me stay away from that one.
I feel you.
I got affiliates and ties, and
I feel you. All right, let me just ask you.
I like and dude, I like Kamara. You know,
I do too. No, I
hope he can get it done.
I like both those guys. Buckley used to drive me a little crazy as a fan, and then he grew on me a lot, bro. I don't know if like most fans feel that way because he used to get on everyone's nerves, but it's like you have to respect how far the guys come. You know, like he's fighting really great opponents, and he's literally killing people, bro. Like he's winning by finish against almost everybody.
Dude, he was talking shit to me via DM on Instagram. My boy Charles Johnson's gonna fuck you up, blah blah. And I was like, fuck you, Buckley. And then I said, Philip, I know all about you. Philip told me at the gym. And the motherfucker said, Philip who? I said, Philip on these nuts. Killed his ass. He said, ha ha ha, you got me. and then I said 1-0, right? And then after I beat this boy, I messaged him back 2-0.
Wow.
So, Buckley don't like me for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, let me just ask you last question. Co-main event. You got Rose or Miranda Maverick next week?
I'm gonna have to go with Miranda Maverick. I think, man, she's got good wrestling, good grappling, but you know, my wife loves Rose. If I told my wife that, she'd be
really
pissed. But yeah, my wife loves Rose.
Yeah, I went to Rose's fight against Carlos Esparza back in 2022. That just scarred me for life because it was that one fight where they just stood still and looked at each other. It was so bad. Yeah. Rose is so elite, bro. She's a legend in the sport. But I agree with you. I think Miranda Maverick, just the up and comer, bro. She beat Dione Barbosa, which that win has aged really well. Barbosa's been killing girls. So I think it's a really, really good matchup. But I like Miranda Maverick in that one too. I think I have to go. I think I have to go Buckley in the main event, though. I think age and durability is just going to be the key in that fight. Just youth, you know. So we shall see.
whatever you say, do not say bet the house.
100%.
Never say that.
100%. But all right, bro. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. I appreciate it. Good luck on your fight next weekend. I'm gonna be there. We gotta hang afterwards, bro, after you get that big win.
Absolutely. You got my number. Hit me up.
Yes, sir. All right, brother. Thank you so much.